being, she knew she was healed. A deep, fundamental knowing.
Knew she was healed. So what did she do?
6 months after that meditation experience, she made the decision to shut off the deep brain stimulator. The implanted device she fought 22 years to get.
She turned it off after it worked so well.
She turned it off. And remarkably, according to the source, she has been symptom-free from the myoclonus dystonia for 2 or 3 years now. With the DBS off, no medication.
That is truly incredible.
Yeah.
Symptom-free after turning off the thing that helped, just based on that inner knowing and seeing the code.
It's a powerful testament, isn't it, to the potential for profound healing access through understanding and working with these deeper levels of consciousness and the body's own energetic or coded structure.
So this whole journey, the suffering, the NDE, the integration, the surgery, the meditation, the code, it all led her to one core realization.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
That we do create our reality here, that this is the type of simulation and we are all deeply connected. And when we tap into that connection and understand the underlying principles, we can do incredible things, including healing.
Okay, this deep dive into Brianna's experience presents some seriously powerful and potentially paradigm-shifting concepts. Let's explore some of those implications based on the source.
Definitely. Let's start with consciousness itself. Brianna's definition from her NDE is that consciousness is a spark of source energy, creator, God, massive energy, whatever term you use. This source energy, she believes, is ever expanding, and each of us is a spark or a finger from that source. We're all connected, relaying information and energy through this vast network.
And our energy fields extend out, more so in the NDE.
Exactly. Maybe 3 to 6 feet or more here, she figures, but expansive and unconstrained in the NDE without the body's limits. The interviewer noted this aligns with a lot of thinking about consciousness extending beyond the physical brain or body.
Right. And the simulation or matrix analogy, she mentioned that explicitly.
She did, compares Earth life directly to a video game. Choose your avatar, power-ups, levels, boss modes, maybe respawn or return to home base.
And the host in the source added the movie examples. Truman Show, Last Mimsy.
Yeah, suggesting these cultural touchstones might be like puzzle pieces, nudging us collectively towards understanding this potential reality, like little hints scattered everywhere.
It's a compelling idea. And this simulation idea connects directly to the most striking part of her NDE, the power of thought creating instant reality.
Right. She links that instant creation, the snow moss tree, the snowman melting to our life here, but with the crucial difference.
The time buffer. She sees it as a blessing.
As a blessing, yes. Because here, time acts as a buffer. In the NDE, the thought, what if I get too close, instantly melted the snowman. Here, if you have a random fearful thought, like, what if I get hit by that bus? The buffer of time allows you to change that thought. You can decide to wait, step back, think about something else entirely, and thus change the potential outcome.
So the implication is huge. If reality is influenced by thought, time gives us the chance to consciously choose our thoughts and influence our experience.
It really underscores the importance of becoming aware of and taking control of our internal world, our thoughts and feelings. Their power might be immense.
And speaking of thoughts, the interviewer brought up that related concept, the telepathy tapes, with nonverbal autistic children.
Yeah, fascinating stuff discussed in the source. This research reportedly involves nonverbal autistic children showing remarkable evidence of telepathic communication.
Communicating how?
Reportedly, telepathically, with parents, siblings, visitors, sharing detailed info they couldn't know otherwise. And what's really striking is their apparently consistent collective experience of meeting telepathically at a shared mental space they call the Hill.
The Hill, like a virtual meeting place.
Exactly. Thousands of these children from around the world supposedly gather there regardless of language or location.
Wow. And they have a message.
According to the source discussion, yes. They're reportedly conveying that we need to be extremely mindful of our thoughts because telepathy is becoming more widespread.
More widespread, so our thoughts will become more transparent.
That's the implication the interviewer drew, that humanity might have passed some threshold, and as telepathy becomes more common, our internal world needs, well, cleaning up, because it won't be private anymore. We need to understand the power of thoughts.
And Brianna resonated with this.
Strongly. While she hadn't heard of the specific telepathy tapes, she'd had many discussions about autistic children. She sees them not as disordered, but as a new generation of elevated frequency.
Elevated frequency, highly gifted.
Yeah, highly gifted beings meant to help awaken others. She feels their unique abilities are often suppressed by a society trying to make them normal instead of nurturing their gifts.
Which connects to her own post-NDE experience of hearing thoughts.
Exactly.
Ugh.
She began hearing people's thoughts and feelings, which was initially overwhelming. She gave that example of being in a restaurant and hearing the deeply disturbing racist thoughts of someone nearby.
Right, that was jarring. She shut it off.
For a period, yes. She had to learn to manage it, along with developing medical intuition, feeling others' physical pain in her own body, like a bad knee or accident pain.
She could feel their pain.
Yeah, she learned how to receive the information without physically manifesting the pain herself. Now, she's consciously reopened the ability to hear thoughts, using it as needed, but with much greater understanding and control.
Okay, another huge concept, suffering. The why me question. Her experience gave her a different perspective.
It really did. After years of searching for external answers, questioning God, karma, past lives, maybe being Genghis Khan,
Right.
her realization, solidified through the NDE and healing, was that she'd been sending her energy outward, begging, fear, low vibration, and attracting negative experiences back, like abuse, more fear.
So the shift was going within.
Exactly. Understanding the need to go within to find the source of power, the God within. Reclaiming that internal power, learning where and how to direct her energy away from fear towards empowered creation and self-love that was key to changing her experience and attracting healing.
And this ties into the idea of soul contracts, choosing difficult experiences.
Yeah, that concept is discussed too. The idea that maybe we choose experiences like her illness before life as a contract to refine the soul or learn specific lessons. Her mom even mentioned it to her when she was 17.
And the empowering part is, once the lesson's learned,
Once the terms are met, you don't necessarily have to keep experiencing it. The suffering isn't endless punishment. It might be a completed agreement you can consciously move beyond. It offers a different frame for pain.
okay, let's clarify the beings she encountered. The Ascended Master, she felt it was Jesus, but acknowledges it could be others.
Right. She saw it as a teacher guide interpreted through her upbringing, but could be Buddha, Krishna, Muhammad, any figure resonant to the experiencer.
And how does she see these masters?
As extensions or sparks of Source, beings who work closely with Source in building dimensions and experiences, maybe more leveled up sparks or light beings.
Gotcha. And back to the binary code in the tunnel, healing the arm. Her takeaway was, everything is code.
Yes. And not just digitally, even our physical world. DNA, she mentioned the shared DNA with bananas and monkeys as an example of a universal coding language.
And physical density is just the speed of the code.
That's her belief. Fast code, high frequency, light, non-physical states. Slowing it down creates the physical world: desks, walls, bodies. Skin isn't just solid, it's a more fluid boundary for energy.
This connects to the grid idea, right? The interviewer saw a crystalline grid.
Yeah, during an out-of-body experience on a medicine journey, sensing it as reality's fundamental framework.
And Brianna saw something similar.
She confirmed it, describing seeing grids and junction points in the night sky while meditating, perceiving the universe's structure built on these grids, with stars as maybe connective points.
So these mutual confirmations, one internal, one external, pointing to this underlying coded grid-like structure.
Exactly. It suggests a fundamental framework beneath the perceived physical world, much like the code of a simulation. Pretty fascinating convergence.
Let's talk about relationships. Her journey there also reflected her internal state.
Absolutely. She acknowledged that during her years of suffering and fear, she attracted overwhelmingly negative people.
But that shifted after her healing journey.
Dramatically. She realized she first had to love herself unconditionally, become whole within, be the essence of love. Because you can't attract healthy love if you're not embodying it first. That involved deep internal work.
And then old friendships didn't fit anymore.
Right, the vibration was off. Then, understanding the power of thought, she tried consciously creating a partner, made a list of qualities.
Did that work?
Sort of. The universe sent someone who checked all the boxes. But critically, he also brought the old toxic patterns she'd attracted before, reflecting unhealed parts of her.
Ah, a test, maybe.
That's how she saw it. She recognized it instantly, trusted her intuition, which screamed old patterns, and despite being single for years, she said no and cut it off.
Good for her. And then?
Then, spontaneously, without effort or lists, she attracted her current partner. He didn't fit the list, but was perfect for their mutual growth in that moment.
So relationships as mirrors.
Exactly. Mirrors reflecting what's within us. The universe testing her readiness after the healing. True connection comes from internal alignment, not external control or lists. It offers a lot of hope, I think.
Definitely. And finally, the white flame, the book title. She saw that in meditation.
Vividly, yes. After leaving her corporate job, seeking answers.
And what does it symbolize?
She researched it, found it's a widely recognized symbol of awakening, enlightenment, maybe the crown chakra, connection to higher consciousness.
So seeing it was like her access point.
Yeah, her way of penetrating that realm of answers. She needed to understand everything. It represents the potential for anyone to access that knowledge, not just through an NDE.
That's a really crucial point she emphasizes, isn't it? NDEs are profound, but not the only way.
Absolutely. She stresses the immense trauma often involved in the death event itself and the incredibly long, difficult integration, often 10 plus years, for people to process and feel okay talking about it.
And she contrasts that with,
What she believes are easier, simpler ways to experience similar knowledge, gifts, thinning the veil, like deep meditation, accessible to anyone without the trauma.
but she does see a positive shift now, more openness.
Definitely. Much greater acceptance of NDEs and spiritual experiences today. Younger generations having these experiences can speak sooner, find resources, community. Unlike older generations who often suffered in silence, fearing judgment, things are shifting, allowing these stories to be shared more openly.
Okay, so wrapping this up, what does this all mean? We've taken a deep dive into an account covering decades of illness, pain, paranormal stuff, spiritual attack, then this multi-stage NDE with code, instant creation, boundless knowledge.
And this whole journey culminates in profound physical healing, defying conventional explanation, and a complete radical shift in her understanding of herself and reality.
Here's where it gets really interesting thinking about the takeaways. The source presents these powerful intertwined ideas. Reality as a simulation built on code. Our thoughts and feelings actively creating our experience. The universe having this underlying mathematical coded grid structure.
That we're not isolated, but sparks of a connected source energy.
And that profound healing and understanding, even from supposedly incurable conditions, can come from accessing and directing the power and knowledge within, maybe even navigating our subconscious code.
Right. Powerful stuff.
Which raises that important question for you, the listener, to consider. If, as this experience strongly suggests, we truly have this power within through understanding our connection, mastering thoughts and energy, maybe rewriting subconscious code to influence our health, our reality, our journey through suffering.
Yeah.
What possibilities does that unlock for your own life? What shifts in perspective or approach might this suggest for navigating your own challenges, seeking your own healing and understanding? It's a lot to mull over.
It really is. And for the listener wanting to explore these ideas further, the source mentions Brianna Lafferty's work and her book, White Flame. You can find more information about her work, books, services at her website. It's a bit unique, remember? Inspired by the binary code.
Right. It was Briarian followed by the number 0, then nicibiro.com.
That's it. BRI0-0NICLC.com.
BRI0NICLC.com. Got it.
Well, thank you for joining us for this deep dive into a truly remarkable and definitely thought-provoking account. We hope it's given you some surprising facts, connected some dots in new ways.
And maybe offered a few aha moments to ponder long after this dive concludes. Until next time, keep questioning, keep exploring, and keep connecting those dots within yourself and the reality around you.